So we got another one of these videos of Unravelling Toxic Masculinity. And in this one, it is the Fresh and Fit podcast with Myron. In this one, apparently, Myron is going beast mode and prove women punish nice guys. Nice guys. Nice guys should be in quotes because, according to them, nice guys are people who believe that, if, you do nice things for women, you deserve sex. Instead of, being a nice guy should be just, doing nice things because you're a nice person and, for only nice guys are nice to people because they want to be nice, and that's it. That's the only reason nice people are nice. If you're nice because you're expecting to get laid out of it, you're not a nice guy. Simple as that. Anyway, so let's see how Myron supposedly goes beast mode. All right, Marshawn, I'm just here so I don't get fined, and see what he has to say.
A day, my grandma used to receive roses off of nothing. Now I have to ask for them shits. I'm not.
That's not funny.
I'm not
So
laying down.
chivalry is
No, yes,
Okay.
I'm not doing that.
Who killed chivalry?
Who killed it?
Yeah,
Who killed chivalry?
Oh.
Who killed chivalry? I'm guessing Myron's take is probably going to... I don't think I've watched this one. I just saw that it was long, and so it's probably going to be terrible because of the title. Who killed... I'm sure Myron's going to say that women killed chivalry. I'm sure if whatever podcast would probably say Sibs killed chivalry, but he'll probably say women killed chivalry or feminists killed chivalry or whatever. Let's go. Let's see if I'm right.
No,
I don't.
women kill chivalry.
There you go. See, women kill chivalry. Boom. Mic drop. End of video. No reason to go anymore. I'm right.
Oh.
Because women
Wait, I saw a video like
punish
this.
nice guys.
Yep.
Women punish nice guys.
Nice guys.
Nice guys finish last. So that's actually when Green Day said nice guys finish last. It's meant because they let their partner finish first, and then anyway.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's see. Agoff Twiddler, are these strippers? I think some of them are OnlyFans models. I think they kind of, these two, the Whatever podcast and the Fresh and Fit podcast, will sometimes cycle through the same people. There was one person who I did remember seeing on both of these podcasts, and I think she's a lawyer who also does OnlyFans, and she was owning them both. Like she was spot on. I mean, you have to be if you got your law degree, I'm guessing. And she was arguing that circles around them, but like I think some of them do OnlyFans, some of them may be strippers, some of them may just be people that get from clubs. I don't know. Hey, Vincent Owens, what's going on? Good to see you. Hey, Robin. Anyway, let's continue.
Is that they're not lying though? It is true. Like this day and age, like not all of us are like that, but there's a lot of women that are like, men ain't shit.
Nigga.
Let's take their money. Let's do this. Let's do that. So a lot of men just feel like, why would I do that?
I don't understand the thing she said with what that point was. So let's continue.
It didn't be like that. We're not all like that.
We're not all like that.
No, chivalry, no, it's not dead. Back then, you see one pretty woman and you get married to her when you're young, and that's what you do. Nowadays, you guys are scrolling through Instagram, you're seeing a million OnlyFans models, people out and about.
Yeah,
of course, you're not gonna settle. It's different. Of course, you're not just gonna settle down.
Yeah, but who's
with one
doing that
person
though?
Because the grass looks greener everywhere else now.
Yeah,
no, I mean, I get.
Again, she makes a valid point. Back in the day, you were chivalry, dated one person or whatever. You courted them and you dated them, and you probably had much smaller towns and smaller, and either they were arranged, and so you treated, whatever, and then you had societal norms, whatever, and whatever. Well, this is whatever. This is Fresh and Fit. But now you have a lot more people, and you have a lot more access to a lot of different people, so therefore you don't have to sit here and settle for one person. You can go date a lot of different people. So why wouldn't you?
It's a different age.
So you think Instagram is the reason why men aren't gentlemen anymore?
No, I don't think so. I think
it's not that they're not gentlemen. It's not about being gentlemen or not. Just you don't have to give everybody flowers. If I had to give everybody flowers that I was interested in, like this woman said, my mom always got flowers for nothing. Well, there was a lot less options back then, probably. If I had to give everybody flowers that I was interested in, I would go to the poorhouse when I was dating.
Social media,
100%.
I think it's both sides partly. But
I think it's a lot deeper than social media.
Hold on. Who do you think social media has poisoned more, men or women?
Women. Of course, 100%.
I'm asking her.
Probably women. Probably women.
So what's your argument then? About social media and Instagram. It's really the women that are ones that control the sexual marketplace, and social media has amplified that.
Here we go again. Women control the sexual marketplace. This is the same dumb line by these toxic men. No. The only reason that women control the sexual marketplace, so to speak, is because men are sluts. Men are the ones who are constantly chasing women all over the place, throwing themselves like men will be the ones who sit there on Tinder to swipe. Men will be the ones who will just go up to person after person at the bar, using the shotgun approach, approaching every single person at the bar as possible on a night to just try and get laid. If men weren't such sluts and didn't try and throw themselves into everybody as possible, then women wouldn't control the sexual marketplace. But because men are so busy trying to chase women down to try and get laid and try and put it in everyone as possible, there's no opportunity for women to chase. I mean, there are some cases, sure, where women do chase guys, and that's fine, and it happens. And when a woman chases a guy, then the man is in control of that sexual interaction, because it's the man's opportunity to say yes or no. But because it's usually the men who are doing the pursuing, it's the woman whose job is to say yes or no. But it's not, women aren't controlling the sexual marketplace because of, you know, Instagram or Facebook or whatever. It's not because of women. It's because of men being sluts.
It's the women that think the grass greener on the other side.
Y'all killed it, not us.
Chivalry is dead and women killed it, not men. Because why would a guy, you guys got to understand, men are deductive problem solvers, right? Everything you guys see in this room was built by a man. Men look at a problem. Okay, let me try to figure this out.
What? Everything in that room was, how does he know that everything, unless he is the one that physically put that room together, how does he know that everything in that room was built by a man? Like, he's using computers, right? Ada Lovelace was very responsible for a lot of stuff in modern computing. Not a man. Hedy Lamarr. She was responsible. She came up with stuff that was responsible for Wi-Fi. Not a man.
Men quickly realize, okay, I want sex. How do I get sex? Woman has sex. What do I have to do to get sex from woman? Well, I'm going to...
No. Man goes to try and throw himself at as many women as possible, and as such needs to figure out how to do that. If the man wasn't trying to throw himself at every possible woman that's out there, and instead was like, let me chill back here for a second and not try and throw myself at every single possible woman, then maybe you would control the sexual marketplace. Maybe you would be the ones who would have to, you know, be the ones that say yes or no. Because guess what? Women get horny too. And if you weren't the ones out there, again, it's supply and demand. And dudes are constantly out there, constantly trying to supply themselves to other people. If men were like, all right, and I'm not talking about the men going their own way. If men just stopped being sluts and started like just, you know, stopped chasing everything that moved and just acted like, you know, normal people, and didn't try and hump everything out there, then guess what? Maybe, just maybe, they would get pursued instead. And that they would have the driver's seat every once in a while.
I'm gonna give her flowers to be a nice guy. Gets friend zoned. That
gets friend zoned because it's terrible to be friends with a woman, right?
Stood up on dates, get flaked on. Fuck, this doesn't work. How do I get girls? Oh, I need to be a fucking asshole. So what do men do? They adopt the bad boy image, being an asshole, to go ahead and get girls, because women respect men that don't necessarily give them the same level of respect. Nice guys finish last, and has been a saying for decades for a reason, because women don't know how to behave when a guy...
I don't know. I tend to think I'm a rather nice guy myself. I don't necessarily try to be nice. I also don't view my relationships with women or anybody as what I can get out of them. Like with anybody. Be it dudes, women, non-binary, gender non-conforming, whatever it may be. Like, I've talked about my experiences way back in the day, in my day, America Online. I would be talking to people online. And, like, I talked to women who had, like, not looking for sex on their profiles. And I'd be like, are you tired of men constantly approaching you, asking you to hook up with them, even though you say I'm not looking for sex? And they'd be like, yes, oh my God, it's terrible. Why? How do you know that? Like, because you put the word sex in your profile, and all they're doing is searching for the word sex, and they're not reading your profile. They just searched the word sex. So I guarantee you, if you took that out of your profile, you're not going to get as many hits. And so people aren't going to be asking you for it. And they did, and it worked. And I didn't ask them for sex after that. I just did that. And I just treated them like normal human beings, and not like human fleshlights. And yeah, so I hooked up with some of them, but not because I was actively trying to pursue it, but because it happened organically. And that's how it worked. It happened because I was a nice person, not because I was an a-hole. I was the exact opposite of an a-hole. And I had a good time, and they had a good time. And other people I just made friends with, and I didn't have sex with them. And that was okay too. Because there's nothing wrong with being friends with women. Wes, I never had to look online. I never had to look for sex online. Well, I didn't have to look for sex online, but, you know, just because you don't have to doesn't mean it's not possible. I mean, it's there.
As a gentleman, off rip.
That's old.
Women who have daddy issues
Exactly.
will only tolerate that
That's
behavior.
Right.
Just to be clear.
Bad boy behavior.
Bad boy behavior. Women who
Yeah, I don't
are
tolerate that shit.
100%
Fuckboys
secure with
are negative
themselves
to
and
them
have.
correctly.
Wait,
I disagree.
yeah.
Of course he disagrees, because he's never going to accept an argument from an intelligent woman who challenges his worldview, because his worldview, it's my opinion, and I could be wrong on this, but it's my opinion, that some woman or some women or some young girl, if maybe it was in high school back in the day, just absolutely destroyed this man. And he became so crushed that he built this huge wall up to just not let anybody in. And he's just become so bitter and vitriolic that has these blinders on, and the world works this way and no other way, and there's nothing that anybody can say that can change my mind.
So you think that a woman who comes from a nuclear family who has had a very strong father figure in her life is going to go after an asshole?
Exactly.
Women are attracted to guys that exhibit Machiavellian traits that aren't necessarily aren't always
younger women.
Well, that's
Younger women, and that's the type of women that he wants to date. He only wants to date 18 to 21-year-olds. He's not going to date a 30-year-old. If you're 30 to Myron, you're an old hag.
ages of 21 and
If they
24.
come from a
That's what men want, though.
dysfunctional family,
That's what men want. No, that's what Myron wants.
Average 80% of American U.S. families have an age difference of 2.3 years in marriages. So that is
like, I get it. You're saying maybe girls that like know their values or whatever, but when do girls typically realize their value? Whatever. It's when they're older. Men want younger, more attractive, more fertile women, and these women tend to look for traits that are more.
Did you just hear Did you just hear the statistic I just said? So 80% of marriages, the average age gap is 2.3 years. Only 8% of marriages have an age gap of 10 years or more. So if that was true, then men would be all going after 23-year-olds. Back to my original point.
Like, mic drop, boom, and he's not going to deal with that argument. He's not going to deal with that statistic. Now, I'm not sitting here, I'm maybe she's right, maybe she's not. But, I mean, the fact that she has that statistic armed and ready says that she prepared for this podcast. And she probably knew that Myron likes the idea of dating 18 to 21-year-olds and therefore knew that she needed to be ready with the statistic, and she's ready to go, and she just, boom, dropped it on him, and he's just going to ignore it.
Men want more than just the poo-tang. They want to have conversation. I did a poll.
Myron doesn't want that, but other men do. But Myron doesn't want to consider those other men because those other men don't watch Fresh and Fit for, you know, except for me, who likes to criticize Fresh and Fit because we want to unravel toxic masculinity.
Poll one time on my Instagram. Ask them, what would you prefer? 32-year-old who you can have a conversation with, or a 23-year-old who you just want to bang? Guess what? 90% of them said, I'd take the 32-year-old any day. So
being honest?
No, 100%. No, I'm sorry. I love you guys. Like, you guys are, but I'm telling you.
I agree.
No, I agree. I agree.
Men.
I agree.
Now, if you polled Myron's Fresh and Fit audience, I'm sure that would be the exact opposite results, because Myron's audience either, you know, will believe Myron's point of view because they've been probably led to believe that this is the way to be, but Myron's audience, again, is not a reasonable, it's a biased sample. Robin, these men need to tell her how to feel when he makes her feel. Most forgot the brain is the biggest sexual organ. Vincent, I don't know what the scene is out there. I just assume it's messed up as it has been for decades. I think it's even more messed up than it is recently. I think it's even more messed up because of people like Myron.
What is most of your Instagram, like your posts? What's most of your posts on Instagram?
I talk about dating and relationships, men and women.
And then do you have like a favorable side or no?
No, I'm split down the middle.
Okay.
Stop the cap.
That's a bit of a. So what is your? I'm trying to understand what is the argument here specifically.
We were talking about.
I'm trying to understand what the argument. The argument is that you're wrong, that you have a limited worldview, and something in your past life, something in your life previously has screwed you up so badly that you can't handle the idea that this educated person who has her life together, who you'd never date because she's too old for you, has just dropped too many facts on you that you're not able to process because it's challenging your worldview, so you're just going to reject that out of hand without even considering that your worldview might be wrong.
You know, you were saying that guys just want younger, fertile women, and women.
Men are more attracted to younger women, yes.
But you were saying that women only realize their value as they get older.
No, I mean, as in what you're saying. No, you're saying that women, right, are that basically saying like women like these bad boys or whatever. You're saying that's not true, and I'm saying no.
I was saying if they have a strong foundation, if they and they come from a nuclear family and they have a very strong father figure in their life, and they have. They're not just going after the bad boy.
That might mitigate it a bit, but they're still attracted to these things.
We're in Miami. Ones, yes. We're in Miami.
Like women,
even if they're attracted to a bad boy type. Here's the thing: even if they look at the bad boy type and be like, yeah, that's somebody I might want to bang. That doesn't necessarily mean that's somebody that they want to be with for the rest of their life. They might just want to have fun with the dude. And then settle down later with a guy who's going to be like, you know, the person that they're going to fall in love with. And there's nothing wrong with that. Because I'm sure you, Myron, have found several people who you just want to bang. And then eventually you're going to find somebody who you're going to marry. Of course, it's not going to be a partner because you don't view women as equals.
Women are still attracted to men that have status, that have money, that have Machiavellian traits where they're not necessarily being a nice guy. My argument is chivalry is dead and women killed it. You're saying that women appreciate chivalry if they come from a nuclear family. I'm saying, yeah, that might mitigate it a bit, but even women that come from a two-parent household are still attracted to men that have certain traits that are bad boy tendencies, even if they come from a nuclear family. That's my argument.
And I was saying,
but they're not going to end up marrying that person. Even if they find that attractive, they still might not marry the person because they're probably going to marry the person who is going to be a better fit for marriage. They might hook up with the bad boy, whatever. Just because they hook up with the bad boy doesn't mean that they're going to marry the bad boy.
Thing was that that's typically younger women, because as women get older, they realize they don't want to be with the assholes anymore because the assholes typically cheat on them and typically treat them like crap.
And we're telling you, for the most part, men would prefer younger women.
Yeah. In response to that.
No, they may not marry them, but they prefer them.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's exactly the point.
Yeah.
So they'll sleep with them,
100%.
and they'll use them, and they'll get rid of them, and then date the 30, and then marry the 32-year-old. Is that right?
I mean, ideally, though, if it goes well, they want to marry them. But you know,
well, she's talking about like the average guy, right? If you gave a dude, right, the option, honestly, hey, pick one.
Poll on Instagram.
Yeah, honestly, it's like, what would you want? They're always going to want the younger, more attractive girl.
Not necessarily.
But unfortunately, not every guy has the ability and/or the sexual market value to command that, or the skill set. Because dealing with younger, more attractive girls,
you don't want women with skill set, Myron. Don't lie. Myron doesn't want people with skill set. He wants a, I would say a walking, talking vagina, but he doesn't even want a talking one. He just wants somebody who's going to sit there and do him whenever he wants them to do him.
That want these bad boys, you have to have some level of game and understanding of female nature, because they're going to test you more than an older girl will, because an older woman, quite frankly, has less value in the dating marketplace, at least.
You don't necessarily have to be a bad boy to attract a younger woman.
We're not saying every single time, but bad boy characteristics make you more attractive to a majority of women.
So what are those traits, though? What are those traits?
I think
what does that mean?
For one, being dominant. Like a man that's like a bad boy, does whatever he wants. He doesn't really care too much about what a girl wants. So he's taking lead in that sense. Those traits, being dominant, are going to lead a woman to success.
Honestly, behaving like a woman, being narcissistic, being selfish.
Oh, Jesus. Behaving like a woman. So a man has to behave like a woman to attract a woman. Whatever a woman behaves like. I mean, again, somebody screwed him over so badly earlier in life. Must have.
To a degree, leading the interaction.
Like, I can't imagine, like, all these women sitting around the table and just be like, behaving like a woman, and they're just like, yeah, okay, whatever. Like, why haven't, I can't imagine just all of them just didn't just all stand up and walk out at that point.
Actions, being dominant, like all these things make you way more attractive as a guy, which is exactly what nice guys don't do.
Yeah.
That sounds so healthy.
Do you think every woman is a narcissist?
Women are attracted to men that are assholes.
It depends on what the woman is looking for in a man, because at the end of the day, there's some women that look for a lot of feminine traits in men as well, because a lot of men are naturally emit masculine traits. So a lot of women sometimes look for in men that are feminine traits as well, that attract a woman way more in this day and age. Technically,
you think every woman is a narcissist?
Not a lot of women like the bad boy shit anymore. That shit's so played out already.
Well, you know, but they're not going to want to hear that. They're not going to want to listen. They are never going to listen to a woman and about what a woman wants. They're so convinced that they know what women wants. They're going to tell women what women want, even though a room full of women is telling them, no, that's not true. Again, talking over women. That's what I said about the other podcast. They have a room full of women because the more women that they have sitting around that table, the more women they have to talk over.
Then you said yes.
A woman that's from this day and age is saying that bad boy shit's already played out.
Stop, man, stop. The girls like guys that are bad boys. Like, if you're gonna sit here and say, "Well, that's played out, girl,"
why are you gonna tell me
what kind of girl? Not all girls. I'm a young girl and I don't like that. So
if you don't text me back after a whole day,
what's annoying about you guys?
Look, just because you found Jesus right now doesn't mean that you didn't fuck with bad boys prior to this.
Yeah, in high school. In high school, yeah, because I was lost. Once you get older, you study, you realize your worth, you understand that they need to have both balance.
Why would I want a girl who's been ran through when she was younger?
Why do I want somebody who's been ran through? Like, why would they want you who's been ran through?
You said what?
Why would I want a girl who was ran through in high school when she's older?
Who said I was
So who
ran through?
killed romance then? Women are men. You guys, because you're running through everybody.
Thank you. Exactly. That's what I've been saying. The problem is that men are sluts.
No, it's the women that killed the romance. Because you guys got to understand that women kill chivalry, women kill romance. No. Women kill
Alf Twitler, his mind will not accept that women might like to enjoy their time and not simply want sex out of the interaction. Exactly.
Can we get it back?
Okay, look.
It's both parties.
I'm gonna explain this.
He's going to explain. Everybody,
Yes.
hold on.
Yeah.
Myron is going to explain the world.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Can you be quiet for 2 seconds and listen? Because I'm going to explain how women kill romance and chivalry.
All right, let's do it.
Go ahead, Poppy.
What did I say before? Men deduct.
Ran through. It ain't a sword as much as you wish. It's like a dagger. It's a butter knife. It's a cheese knife.
The problem solvers. Men realize that for me to get sex with attractive girls, I must display certain characteristics and tendencies that might not put.
Men don't realize that most men just go swipe until they find somebody that says yes. Like I think he puts way too much what's the word I'm looking for? Confidence, or way too much value, way too much thought into what guys who are seeking to get laid, how much thought they put into it. They don't put that much thought into it. They're trying to hump everybody out there possible. That's what they're thinking. That's what these guys are thinking. They're not thinking, what is the best formula of how I'm going to try and fit tab A into slot B? They're just like, me want to hump now is what they're thinking. And they just go ask everybody possible until they find someone who says yes. And then most likely they'll not satisfy them so they don't get called back.
Put the girl first, i.e. be a fucking bad boy. Because women control who fucks, correct?
Again, the only reason that women control it is because men are the ones that are being sluts.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Otherwise, it's a crime. Okay?
Right.
So since women controls who fucks.
Otherwise, no. It's not a crime if men were to be like, again, not out there throwing their dicks at everybody and stopped and artificially limited their supply, I guess, and restricted their supply of available penis. Guess what? The women might start chasing them, and then it would be an equilibrium, so to speak.
Men need to adapt to what women are attracted to and most importantly aroused by. So being an asshole will get you more sex. So why do men that fuck a lot of girls have certain similar tendencies? Dan Bilzerian, Andrew Tate, Tristan Tate, all these guys that had a bunch of women, us, whatever it may be, they have certain asshole Machiavellian traits because women are attracted to this. And a lot of guys that want to get girls have to emulate these traits to a degree. So women are the ones that created the death of romance and chivalry because you guys are the ones that picked that fuck. Men are only going to adapt.
I would probably argue that the people that like the Andrew Tates of the world are very a small subset of people, because the Andrew Tates of the world are a very small subset. So yeah, that they are able to find people who want to have sex with them is not proof that A, chivalry is dead, or that B, that's a general rule. Just because they're the loudest, it doesn't mean that they're representative of the entirety. Yes, kimchi. They are very disgusting.
To what women provide.
But that's old though. This is
men are only gonna adapt to the type of women that they're around.
Yeah, my 2023.
Literally, yeah. Oh, like it's not like you guys know about Gen Z.
Hold on, stop real quick. That's your explanation. It's old. Who else has? Okay. Who else has something responsive?
Like I wish I could. Again, I've said this before. I would love to be able to get popular enough that I could get on their radar and then go debate them, because I would have so much fun debating them. And he'd probably be like, how many women have you slept with? Well, not that it's your problem, but more than you'd think. Why? Because I actually treated women with dignity and respect. You'd call me a simp, but I've had plenty of sex.
Wes can rebut what I just said.
You say men will fuck anything, right? They'll fuck anything.
To a degree.
So if any man, if I'm walking down the block and 10 guys are looking at me trying to call me, of course I'm not going to be interested in any of those guys that are catcalling me. So of course you saying bad boy, the guy who doesn't care, who doesn't look at you, who doesn't give a fuck. Someone will be like, oh, well, all these guys are looking at me, but this one guy won't. I'm into that.
There you go. All right. Does anyone else want to rebut what I just said?
But that's necessarily a bad boy. That's just not. That's actually the opposite of being a bad boy. That's the guy who's not being a dick. Like, she didn't prove what he said. She disproved what he said.
Argue, right?
Yes.
No, I'm not arguing.
But I'm saying, where am I in? It's not like that everywhere.
The argument.
That's proving what I said. Like, the guy that didn't throw himself at her is the one that was not the one that acted like an a-hole.
It's simply that women killed romance and chivalry from their sexual selections.
Myron,
that's what I'm arguing. I'm saying women killed it, and I just explained it to you that men are deductive problem solvers, and they will do what they need to do to get laid.
Men are deductive problem solvers, like, meaningless. There are a lot of men who are not deductive problem solvers.
Which means being an asshole or a bad boy to do so. Does anyone have a rebuttal for that specifically?
No, but could I ask a question? Do you think that we can get chivalry back?
Nah, nigga.
I'm bringing chivalry back. Yeah.
Let me tell you why. In order to get chivalry back, women are going to have to regress on feminism, and they're not doing that.
They won't do it.
They're not doing that. Women want to have their independence, their ability to earn, their ability to be independent.
So the way to get you can act chivalrous and still have women earning money and still. There was a post that I had on Facebook the other day that was in my memories where it was like, and somebody like unfriended me over the conversation. It was ridiculous because some guy was called sexist because he opened a door for a woman, and I'm like, what? Like, I open doors for everybody, men, women, or whatever. If you don't want me to open the door for you, fine. But like, you know, it's not sexist to open a door for somebody just because they're a woman. Like, it's ridiculous. So like you can be nice to other people and treat other people with dignity and respect, because feminism is not just about it's just about treating people equally regardless of gender. That you can still have chivalry with and do that. You can still treat people nicely. Chivalry is about treating people with dignity and respect. You could be chivalrous and still have feminism.
And single, whatever it may be, that's cool. But you cannot have the strength of feminism simultaneously while chivalry is being practiced, because chivalry in itself goes against equality, which is what feminism preaches. Chivalry is preferential treatment to a woman because she's a woman, which battles against feminism. Because
let's go look up the definition of chivalry, shall we? Definition of chivalry: very polite, honest, and kind behavior, especially by men towards women. But it doesn't necessarily have to be. But it's very polite, honest, and kind behavior. Chivalry: the system of behavior followed by knights in the medieval period of history that put a high value of honor, kindness, and courage. So no, it doesn't have to be just towards women. You could just be chivalrous, and you could just change the idea of what chivalry is and just make it be like you're just kind and polite and honest to everybody. So feminism can change what chivalry is, and you can just be kind and nice to everybody. Not idiots they are.
Feminism fights for equality.
Yeah. Well, what are we supposed to do then?
So with the OnlyFans, is it too late?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's just that 1 in a million guy.
Did anyone else have something on that past arc? Go ahead.
I see your analogy is flawed because, I mean, you're saying you're giving this bad boy aspect because of rejection. That's the origin of it all. You're because you get rejected, you're gonna become an asshole to women. Like, it's not like we're begging, don't open the door for me, don't purchase this meal, don't do this. It's not like we're begging for it. Yeah, there's different women who are more masculine, more, you know, negative towards your eyes. However, you can't generalize all of us because of rejection.
The world works on generalities. If I tell you that you have
the world works on generalities,
80% failure rate being a nice guy, most guys are going to say, damn, fuck that, I'm going to be an asshole.
Where does he get this thing where you get an 80% failure rate being a nice guy? I don't know. He just made that. 72% of all statistics are made up.
Of course, there's a minority of women that will appreciate flowers on a first date, or you being a gentleman, being nice, and being a pushover. Some girls might appreciate that, but most won't. So since most won't, what do men have to do? They have to go off of the probability and not the possibility. You've made a lot of arguments for the possibility. I'm telling you, I'm going off of probabilities. If I want to increase my likelihood of getting laid, I must adapt and become a bad boy, because that's what.
If you want to increase it, but again, you're because you're constantly trying to get laid instead of forming a relationship, and as such, you're the one who's throwing yourself out there, which means you're the one who's killing everything. You're the one who's increasing the supply, so you're the one who's causing women to be the ones in charge of the market, the sexual marketplace. So you're the ones causing the problems that you're complaining about. You're causing the problems that you're complaining about. That's the problem with toxic masculinity. It's men creating their own problems and then complaining about it. It's like that picture of where, like, the guy is, you know, it's either the picture of the person riding the bicycle and then putting the stick in their own wheel and then falling off the bike, or the picture of Hannibal Buress, you know, and what's his face, you know, goes behind and shoots Hannibal Buress. It's like, why would Hannibal Buress do that? You know, you know, he's creating his own problem and then blaming others for it. And Vincent, no, there's more to life than getting laid. Absolutely. More to life than getting laid. Getting laid's fun. I have no problem with people who want to get laid. Get laid. It's fine to get laid. It's fine to have fun. It's fine to have sexual fun. The problem is that he doesn't consider that women should be able to have the same thing as him. He will look upon a woman negatively for doing what he wants to do. If a woman wants to get laid, he will view her as less valuable than if he wants to get laid.
Most women favorably respond to sexually. Hold on, let her. You have anything for that?
It goes both ways. I mean, with
how does it go both ways?
With chivalry, I mean, as well. Like, you can't. You gotta respect to be respected. You can't just plainly go off generalizations. You go on a date with a woman who does appreciate it, but you turn out to be a dick. How does that make you look? Naturally, she's gonna reject you if you're a nice guy or a bad guy. I mean, it just depends if you connect with the person. That's just how.
Well, fresh.
That's what he's saying, though.
Notice that this one right here has not been a part of the conversation in a while, because he doesn't want to have her be part of the conversation. Why? Because she is the one that disproved everything that he said, so he's not going to go back to her because she's too smart for him. So he's only going to go to the other ones who are not able to effectively make the argument that she made.
Oh, he's saying that not everybody.
We are not saying to be mean to women. We're saying, for example, the traits of an asshole, so to speak, are dominant. They lead things firsthand, and they don't give a fuck what women think off rip. However, if she deserves that gentleman-like behavior, then she'll get it. But it has to be earned.
But it can't be in an abundance either.
Yeah, it has to be earned.
But what I mean, I don't understand what you're trying to. What are you arguing here?
I mean, like, I believe.
Why is there a saying nice guys finish last, and it's lasted for decades?
I mean, like, it depends on the guy. If you're a creepo, we're gonna reject you. But
a lot of these creeps are nice guys. Is my point.
But Fresh Myron, have these girls ever?
No, they're not really nice guys. They pretend to be nice guys because they think nice guys are going to get them. The niceness is going to get them laid. So yes, those people who pretend to be nice just to get laid are not really nice. That's the thing. If you're pretending to be nice to just get sex, you're not nice. If you're legitimately nice because you're a good person, and that's gonna shine through. And that's the thing. That's what he's not getting. He probably tried being a nice guy in order to get laid, and it didn't work for him because he's not a nice guy. And they saw right through him. It was transparent as a piece of saran wrap. And they saw exactly through his ploy, and they were like, this guy's not a nice guy. He's just pretending to be nice to try and get in my pants. And they saw right through it. He didn't get laid. And he was like, well, this isn't working for me. Me doing all the nice guy things, I checked all the boxes and I didn't get laid and even though I did all the things I was supposed to do, so I'm going to be an asshole now. No, you were always an asshole. That's the thing. You were always an asshole. They just saw right through you.
Ever had a one night?
Kimchi, stop making stupid people rich. Who's making stupid people rich? Me?
Stand before? Like, tell me, who has not have a one night stand before? Who has not? So that what? That's 3 out of what? 10 girls? So yeah.
And what's wrong if they had a one night stand? Y'all have had one night stands. What's wrong if they had a one night stand? Who cares?
So girls actually reward guys who actually has their shit together on the first night. So why would guys want to, wait
Chris,
longer?
Shut up, man. Shut up, bro.
There we go.
Well, at least one of them told the other one to shut up.
So anyway, does that make sense?
Look at all these super chats.
Yeah, I can't deny that.
That jerks in general get more women. It's just how it is.
That's old.
Not true.
No.
That's old.
In that aspect, no.
I would argue.
It depends on the woman because women can be stupid as hell.
Stop. I would argue.
There are people who are going to like bad boys, and that's fine. And there are people who are going to be attracted for bad boys for bad boy behavior, and who are going to be like, oh, there's a guy who's going to be useful for one thing, and they're going to use the guys for one thing, and they're going to have fun, and then they're going to move on. And there's nothing wrong with that because y'all are doing the same thing with the women. Kimchi, okay. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Well, that's one of the reasons why I'm doing this whole thing, these reaction videos, is I'm hoping that maybe some of these people will find these videos and listen to my commentary on them, and maybe some of them will be like, oh, we're being misled. A lot of them will just call me a simp and a soy boy and anything else, whatever, blah, 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 and I'm fine with that. They can call me whatever names they want to call me. I'm used to it. I've probably been called worse. But again, one of the reasons why I do this, but another reason to do this is some of these videos actually get good views. So, see, Kimchi, okay, everyone has probably had a bad boy or a bad girl relationship. You live, you learn. Yep. You love, you learn, you cry, you learn, you lose, you learn, you choke, you learn, you scream, you learn. Sorry.
It's even more pronounced in today's day and age.
Not around.
Yeah, not at all. Correct. No, he's right.
No,
he's right though, because a lot of women.
All right.
Yeah, he's right.
Look,
it depends on the type of woman that you are.
Look,
and a lot of women
that you are, the type of woman
this is what I mean. Stop. This is what I mean when I say women lack critical thinking skills. Let me explain.
This is what I mean when the women lack critical thinking skills, except for, the Ada Lovelaces of the world and, other people, the Hedy Lamars and the many women who work in many of the fields that require critical thinking skills. But, go on.
And why you're 100% wrong.
Ooh,
the reason why you're wrong is because we have social media, we have dating apps, we have the internet. Do women have more options now or 50 years ago?
Both. No. Both parties.
Both parties have more options now than 50 years ago.
Okay, stop. And I'm going to explain to you why you're wrong about that here in a second. But do women have more options now or 50 years ago?
No. Both parties have more options.
50. I think
both.
50.
Realistically speaking, who has more options, men or women?
Both
right
parties.
now?
Both parties.
Right now, I think probably men, because
everybody has more options now because there's more people alive now.
Women kind of, I don't know.
Both.
Shit.
Okay, look.
In discussions of what? Sex or relationship?
Look.
The technology is both.
Stop.
Girls.
If we're going to have a logically sound conversation that isn't low IQ, we have to understand that men don't.
If you're trying to have a logically sound conversation that's low IQ, you have to leave the room. He has to leave the room, first of all. But let's continue.
Have nearly as many options as women, period. Whether it was 1950 or now. Most women, find most men as unattractive. That's a fact. It's been proven on dating apps. It's been proven all over the place. There's a reason why she's a dating coach and probably most of her clients are men. There's a reason why we got 12,000 plus people watching here on YouTube. Women don't have issues with attracting men. Men have a lot of issues with attracting women. Can we agree on that?
What? No, no, because if you're an unattractive female, your options are a lot less.
That's not true. There's a reason to that.
There's a reason.
Like Tinder, plenty of fish. Bumble, there are plenty of.
Yeah,
no, I can,
exactly for guys.
And the men said earlier, how much percent that men are literally.
There are a lot of couples of people together that you would look at are not traditionally attractive by modern societal standards, who are together and happy and loving each other. So I'm gonna wholeheartedly disagree with the ideas that that people have less options today of either group. Kimchi, never beg for sex, even a committed relationship, unless you like the BDSM thing. Good point.
Willing to fuck anything, like a huge percent.
They've done studies on this where they've literally taken a woman that's fat, obese, unattractive, and put her Tinder profile up, and then put a man's Tinder profile up that's in the top 1% of looks. The woman had 4 to 5 times as many matches as that man, and that woman was absolutely deplorable looking. So that's not even a point of argument. A very attractive man has less pull than an average girl, even a below average girl.
What's wrong with that?
Period.
I'm saying all that to establish the foundation of what me and you were talking about earlier when I said
that's because men are sluts. Going back to my old argument, men are constantly throwing themselves at women so they can be more selective because they're constantly having dicks thrown at them. Period. That's one thing they don't understand.
Women have more options than men. Now, going back to what I was saying, since women have more options than men, that lets them be more picky, correct?
Women have more options than men because men create that scenario. Men are creating the market, the supply. This is really the only time where I'll agree with supply side economics. Men are creating the supply of available penis so that women can be selective. It's like the scene from History of the World Part 1 where Madeline Kahn is going like, yes, no, 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 yes, no, 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 yes, no, no, yes, no, 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 yes. Anyway, so yes, as I said, men are sluts. Men are sluts. Men are throwing themselves at women all over the place. They've created this huge supply of available penis so women can be selective. Because again, men will just be on these social apps and they don't care. They'll just watch. That's why he says, as he described this person as a mediocre looking woman, got so many swipes, because they don't even look. Nobody reads profiles. They just swipe, 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 and hope that they're eventually going to be able to get, as they say, their dick wet. Because that's all they're on there for. Period. He's complaining that it's women that are in control. You've given them the power. You've ceded the power to women by being sluts. Simple as that. I don't know how many times I need to repeat that. Anyway, what do you think? Agree or disagree? Leave comments below. Thank you very much.